Hi everyone. It's day number, whatever yesterday was, +1. It's only like 12 hours since the last time I vlogged, but I did not sleep well at all last night. And I woke up just pissed off. And I don't want to stay pissed off. And I don't like to journal. And my hands smell like menthol because I have tiger balm on my back. So I made a list today of all the things I'm pissed off about. Come join me. You get a different view today. You get to see my degrees and my awards that I won. Whoop-de-doo. Back in the day when I would like flat iron my hair and whatever. Exciting part of today was I learned how to put my scrunchie back in my hair without hurting myself. So that was exciting. I guess I can give a precursor forewarning that I'm being blatantly honest about everything. Well, I'm always honest, but I'm just not feeling good, and it's all gonna come out today because I needed to, because I'm just mad. And here's the first thing I'm mad about. Ready? Come on along. My back friggin' hurts. That's why I smell like menthol, because of the tiger balm. Thank you to the person that invented tiger balm, which I probably should have put on before 6 a.m. when I was up every whatever. Uterus is another thing that I'm annoyed with. I'll get to that. But my back, I've shown you my bed setup. I have, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 pillows. I have a dozen pillows in my bed. And I cannot get comfortable. The way that you're supposed to sleep in like your little beach chair position, which sounds so great if you're sitting on the beach with the water. But the reality is you're not on the beach. You're in your bed and my legs are supposed to be elevated, and that pillow where I elevate them is getting kind of mushy, and then I have to sit there and adjust it to make sure that my legs are still under, or my pillow's under my knees. And then I alternate like which pillow is going to be my friend today. And my mushy pillow is usually by my back. It's my lower back. I mean, I think most women after they have children have issues with their lower backs. You know, you're carrying a human being for 9 months. It's a lot of weight to put on your back. I would never take that away because my kids are my pride and joy. But the fact of the matter of just women and childbirth, your back is never the same. And like when I had COVID back in March, I was in my bed a lot, clearly, because I couldn't really move much because the aches are just intense. And you're just sleeping a lot. And honestly, at this point, I don't even remember a lot of the stuff that I even had with COVID. It was just, it was tough. And I was in my bed all the time. So I was in isolation. That's right. So I couldn't even go anywhere else. I could sit in this chair and in my bed. And I had an office chair. But I was too tired to like work, so I was out of work for the 10 days or whatever. Not really out of work. I could still do stuff for my laptop. Like I was coherent and stuff. Anyway, the point is I was in my bed a lot. My mattress is a pretty nice mattress. It's not super old, but when you're laying in your bed for, you know, what's isolation? Normally 10 days at that time. I don't think they released me until 12 or 14 days because of my coughing or something. I don't even remember. But I have like this little like divot in my bed now from where I sat for so long in March. And I've rotated my mattress since then. But even if you rotate it the other way, the divot's only a couple inches down. And now I have like this post-freaking COVID divot in my bed. And now I'm laying in my bed to sleep and it's supposed to be all comfortable and stuff. And I feel it. So I take my mushiest pillow and push it down towards my back to have support on it. And I'm normally a side sleeper. I'm a side sleeper. I have a pillow that I put between my knees to level out my spine. So I'm being all healthy and stuff. And I just can't get comfortable. Yeah, there's only so much I can, like, you know, you're supposed to be resting. And when you're resting and you can't lay flat, which is an eventual goal for me, but I can't lay flat. So I'm on my back and I'm in different angles. And they're like, well, try moving from a 75-degree angle to a 65-degree angle. It's like, really? I'm just going to slouch down more. And then that hurts. And then I have to pick myself up, but I can't put support on my hands or my elbows yet. So I have to shimmy myself. And when I shimmy myself, all the other pillows move. And it's like a freaking avalanche of crap, freaking pillow support. My neck was better last night. I guess I should take that. I do have one pillow from Brookstone that's pretty, it has, I need to explain it. My neck didn't hurt as much because of the pillow I used for my neck. But my lower back really, really hurts. And eventually I went in my room and I was like, oh yeah, Tiger Balm. But then I opened my cabinet and guess where the Tiger Balm is? On the top shelf. And I'm not supposed to be doing that. So I take a little step up on my squatty potty and I reached for it because I really needed the Tiger Balm. And I shouldn't have done that, but I needed to like not have my back killing me. So I put it on and that stuff helps like super quickly and it usually lasts too. But I washed my hands when I was done, but I left a little bit on my hand, on my left hand, I guess, which I didn't realize. And then I went to go like this. And all of a sudden my eye got really cool and I'm like, crap, because I had the Tiger Balm on my eye. It's fine. I've wiped it off. But it's like I get out of bed then and I'm like, I might as well just start my day, even though I'm super tired and I just want to go back to sleep. But I can't lay on my side. You certainly can't be a belly sleeper because of my boobs. Like, how do you sleep? How do you sleep when your sides hurt? Your stomach, you can't lay on your stomach. Your back hurts. There's no other way to go. It's not even a matter of changing and going out in the main room and like sleeping on the couch or something. I'm just tired of all this friggin' crap. So that'll bring me to my armpits. I had no idea about the impact of armpits with a double mastectomy. No idea. I got the part about the lymph nodes, but I didn't understand or ask, or I didn't really have enough time to research to know the intense impact on your armpits after a mastectomy. I mean, you have the stitches, first of all, from my little debacle last night, which I shared. Again, I know I have to get these up on YouTube. I don't know, whatever. They'll be up there. You don't need to see this in real time. If you want to ask how I'm doing, I'm telling you right now, if you're watching this now and I'm again like a week behind, you want to know how I'm doing, just ask me. If you post it on Facebook, I'm not going to look. Facebook is another thing that's been just annoying me. Anyway, armpits. The sensitivity under your armpits is so intense. And I started like reading some stuff today and on Google, which I know you're not supposed to do, but you know, sometimes you just need to have freaking information. Ugh. And they're like, you know, you could have this kind of sensitivity in your armpits like forever. And I take it with a grain of salt because I'm reading it from YouTube, from whoever posted it. But some of them were like legit. Ugh. See, this is what I mean. I can't even like sit and be in a comfortable position. And then I move and then my anvil chest. Ugh. So everything's pissing me off. All right, I'm going down my list of things. My armpits. Yeah, it said it could be like 6 months or something before it's like not horribly horrible, but then you probably won't have the same kind of sensation or whatever in your armpits like forever. Disclaimer that I don't recall them ever telling me, but like, what are your other options? You don't have any. Well, you do. You don't have to have a double mastectomy. You know, you don't have to have cancer treatment, but like, I like to live, so yeah, I'm going to do that. And this is what comes along with the territory. The stitches, after yesterday's drama, you know, they're itchy. The bandage is what it is. The adhesive that's around it rubs up against my stupid friggin' Velcro bra. I don't want a Velcro bra. I don't want to have to research bras. I want a bra. Like, I want to get changed into real clothes, and I don't even know, like, what to wear, because the first step is putting on a bra and changing your underwear. And it upsets me even with my underwear, because it's like, I bought like this granny panty underwear when my stomach was all distended, and I thought it would be short term, and I can go back to wearing my, like my lacy underwear, and maybe even a thong once in a while. And that's so not on the plan right now. And it just bothers me that I have to reach, I put the granny panties like in the back of the drawer. And it bothers me that I have to reach in the back of the drawer to get my freaking underwear, because I don't want the underwear from that section. I want the underwear from like the pretty sexy section. And like pretty sexy isn't like where I am right now. Is this sexy? I mean, really. I know it's under, you know, it's not what's on the outside, it's what's on the inside. I'm just crabby. Armpit hair. Didn't have the disclaimer on that one either. I still don't get why, and I'm not Googling enough, but I just need to rest and just take every minute as it comes. But I'm understanding now that you can't really shave your armpits for months after you have a mastectomy. Another disclaimer that I was not aware of. All the things you don't realize that you can't do. So it's intriguing in a way. I've never had my armpit hair grow out like this. And I'm like, what does armpit hair look like as it grows out? I guess men would know this because most men don't shave their armpits. But is it like regular hair like on your head? Is it hair like you have on your pubes where it's like curly and like, you know, rough? I don't know. I get to learn what the consistency and shape of my armpit hair will look like. Will it be curly like my hair is? Will it be straight? You know, is it going to make me smell more under my armpits because I still can't use deodorant? Or can I use deodorant? I don't remember. There's so many damn directions to keep track of. I don't even remember if I can use deodorant or not. But the reality is, even if I can use deodorant, I don't want to have anything touching my armpits because it hurts. And then after my hole opened up, for me, it was like freaking Mount St. Helens going off out of my arm. But in reality, it was just like one drop of, or one bubble of blood. This is what I mean. I get all worked up and then my chest starts to hurt. My body telling me to calm the hell down, Jen. And I will, but I need to get off this. I need to get this off my chest. Literally. I don't want my implants out of my chest. It's just this in-between time that just sucks. And I realize that a lot of my vlogs are like all over the place, which is why I started writing things down, and I don't like to write. I was a math teacher because numbers are easy. There's only 10 digits. It makes it pretty simple. But sometimes when I write, my handwriting is so sloppy, I can't even read it. Which is why I have these cool like markers, because it's a lot easier to write with a marker than it is with a pen, at least for me. All right, other things I said I want to complain about. I want to get up and go for a walk and not have to time out my food with my meds and just be normal. I like being a little off kilter, but right now I just want to be normal. I just want to wake up and do what I used to do. I'd like to just wake up and have a banana, have a glass of water in the reverse order, put on my, what do you call it, my AirPods, get my phone. I do have a fashionable fanny pack. I don't even want to call it a fanny pack because it's not that shape. It's a waistband. That's what I'll call it. And then head out the door and go walking. I used to walk 3.5 miles every day in the morning. I'd walk like 1.5 miles or whatever. There's a dam that's near me that has, it's just really pretty, you know, nice foliage, and the birds are singing and little critters are hopping around. And I'd stop there and I'd meditate, and then I'd do the other mile, whatever it was, to go back home. And then I'd be all sweaty and stuff, so I'd take a nice refreshing shower, standing up without a shower chair. You know, let my hair just dry naturally, put nice hair product in so it had this nice curly little wave to it thing going. I just want to go back to that. And that's not even going to happen because by the time I'm up for doing that, it's probably going to be the winter time and then it's going to snow. And when it snows around here, the sidewalks near my apartment are not necessarily always cleared off because I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. Not nowhere, but I'm not in the center of town. And they don't clear off our sidewalks. Anyhow, the food with the meds is just annoying. And I would think tomorrow is my last day of medication. Like, I'm on 2 antibiotics. Those will be done tomorrow. You know, you're on for 14 days after surgery. So I'm pretty sure everything's going to be done tomorrow. The antibiotics, the painkillers, that, you know, I only have the 1 oxy and I'll just keep it for a souvenir. I don't know. I'm not in like that much pain. I'm in discomfort. I'm not in pain that I would need to take an oxy. And I'm not even in that much pain that I would need to take Tylenol. So she did say to stop going from strictly every 6 hours where I was like making sure to be ahead of the pain to now it's just like a routine daily discomfort. This is just how I feel. I have come to terms with the fact that I feel like I have 2 anvils on my chest that are just crazy glued on. You would think that my boobs look ginormous right now, and they don't. But that's what they feel like right now. But, like, I hate that I'm like, oh, yeah, at 7 o'clock, I have to get up. I have to have an Icelandic yogurt because I need to have the calcium and the protein. And I have to have some fruit in there, too, so that makes, you know, make sure that I'm healthy. And then I have to take my vitamin D when I'm done because my vitamin D levels are very low. And I'm like, why are my vitamin D levels very low? And, of course, start Googling that. What's wrong with me that my vitamin D levels are low? And I find out, well, pretty much everyone that lives in New England has low vitamin D levels because we live in New England. If you live in Florida and you're out in the sun all the time, you probably would have pretty high vitamin D levels. And you probably would have really wrinkly skin from being out in the sun so much. And probably a higher COVID rate too, because they're much more lackadaisical down there about masks and all that fun stuff. But I hate having to time out my food like that. An analogy that I had for my, just looping back to my bed as I'm going in order of my rant on here. I was thinking of like, you know, like those movies where they show, it's usually men that have like these women around them. Like, I think of like Egyptian times, or I'll flip that around. Like Egyptian times where you have like Cleopatra or someone laying on her bed of feathers or whatever, you know, like sitting up with her legs to the side. And she has her little like harem of men with their little like toga pant thingies on. What are they? They're not togas, whatever they're called. I can't think of the word because, again, words are not my forte right now. That's going to bug me what the hell that's called. Anyway, and all the men are, like, super ripped, and they have no shirts on. They just have their little thingies around their waist, which is the word I can't think of. And they have feathers to cool you off, though, like, I'm freezing cold, it's clearly. Like, it's, well, no, it's September now, and I'm wearing a scarf. And they, you know, they're at your beck and call to feather you if you're warm, and to feed you grapes, and all you do is just sit there, and they're like, oh, and they just give you grapes or cheese or whatever. And I'm like, I'd like to have that on my bed, like, all throughout the night. So if I'm uncomfortable, they're like, Master Jen, or not Master, Queen, whatever. I like Master. Master Jen, how can we adjust your pillows? Or, you know, they won't even have to ask how. They would just come over and adjust my pillows to make sure that every little tweak that I make in my sleep, they would just immediately come over and adjust them so it would just work. And when I stop fidgeting and they know it works, and then they step away. And then they let me sleep. They fix my pillows while I'm not paying attention. That's what I'd like in my little happy little land. Oh, this is a good one. Healthcare in the United States. Hee hee. I'll be relatively brief with that one, even though I say relatively brief all the time, and then my vlogs have turned into 45 minutes, but whatever. Healthcare in the United States. All right. So compared to like third world countries, of course, our healthcare is phenomenal. In the country of the United States of America, I am very blessed to be in the Boston area. Mass General Hospital is the #1 research hospital in the country. So yay, happy to be there. Very, very happy to be in this area. I love Boston. I'm originally a New Yorker. but I like Boston better. It's quieter, it's cleaner, it's historic. I don't know. I just like it better. Like if you go there in August, like if I go to Manhattan in August and it's like a hot day in August and you take the train in and you're underground, the first thing you smell when the train doors open is pee. You walk up the stairways to go this, like out of the subway or whatever, and you smell hot pee. And like every day is garbage day. So there's just noise, 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 noise. And one of the weirdest things when I moved to Boston was, I didn't know about the Big Dig. Like I think I went to Boston once to visit ever in my life before I moved here. And when I went into Boston for the first time, I went to the aquarium. My kids were little. And it, like, I got out of the car and I'm like, it's so quiet. Like, why is it so quiet? And like, I'm used to like Manhattan noise for a city. And I didn't know about the Big Dig, and you can look it up yourself, but basically all the highways are underneath underneath Boston. Like most of there still is plenty of traffic in Boston, but a lot of it is underneath Boston. The Big Dig was like digging like a roadway underneath Boston to cut down the traffic. So it's much quieter and it's generally a lot cleaner. Anyhow, the healthcare thing, it's come up ample times when someone has like that I'm working with this process has said, oh, well, when they discharged, didn't you get this? You know, when you had this doctor appointment, didn't they give you this? When they left, you know, when you had your last appointment with so-and-so, didn't they give you this? And I'm like, no, 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 and no. And I take ownership over the fact that I have not looked on the gateway at all of my results yet, or not results, but all of the, like after visit summaries and the notes that they write. I haven't looked at all of them yet because it's overwhelming. I've looked at some, but when I say like, did they give you this? It's like, did they give you a booklet? Most of them are like booklets, like physical, you know, booklets that you would get. And I'm like, no, I didn't get a booklet. Like, what do you do when you go home? What to expect after you've had the mastectomy done? You know, no, I never got a pamphlet or a book. I got discharge instructions, but that was it. And I don't like, I mean, yes, if there are some, I should have gotten them. The healthcare part, I'll put COVID into this first of all, because me going through this mastectomy during a pandemic definitely changes the experience a ton. Maybe I should rewind because that kind of brings up a whole separate thing with the pandemic. But where I was going to with the healthcare thing is, right now, so it's COVID-19 is the pandemic. It's the coronavirus. It started in 2019. The shutdown in America and pretty much everywhere was around March, like March 13th of 2020. Now I'm in August of 2021. And where we are now is, you know, there's vaccines, people that have gotten their vaccines. Some got it back in January, so now they're talking about getting a booster shot. You know, schools were shut down, life was shut down, offices were shut down. I've only worked back at my job for a couple of days in the past year and a half almost, which is crazy. I mean, the whole world is so, so, so different. But when it comes to healthcare, people that needed to have, like me, for example, people that needed to have like relatively routine care or things that popped up that didn't seem too crucial, like me, you know, like I needed to have, or not needed, it was suggested that I have a breast MRI solely because my mom had breast cancer shortly before my last gynecological visit before all the shit hit the fan. And she said, you know, just because she's had cancer, and, you know, I get those letters that say that my breast tissue is dense, and she's like, you know, let's just do a breast MRI as a baseline. And that baseline led me to where I am today. But it's a perfect example of people pushing off things because of the pandemic. I didn't originally push it off because of this, and I've mentioned this before, but I pushed it off because of the contrast dye. I'm allergic to contrast dye for CAT scans, like anaphylactically, like not a fun time. That's something to complain about too, is like when women complain about something, a lot of people just assume it's like, oh, she's just being dramatic or hormonal or whatever. And that's a load of freaking shit. I'm sorry. They thought I was having a panic attack. They're like, oh, she's just having a panic attack. And I'm like, no, I've actually had panic attacks. I know what they're like. That's not what this is. And my throat was freaking closing up and I couldn't breathe. And they're like, no, she has anxiety. And I'm like, oh my God. It's on my chart that I have anxiety because I went through a divorce and I was on medication to handle all the stressors that come with going through a divorce. So now it's like, stamp, pfft, you have anxiety. Give me a break. I'm one of the most like chill, grounded people that I know. Anyhow, that annoys me about how people treat women in this country, or maybe everywhere. There's a lot to complain about. So going back, healthcare. So with people putting off things because of the pandemic, things are starting to open up, but now we have this variant. There's been several variants. This one seems to be more, I wish I had a better vocabulary. The vaccines that people are getting, like the new variant, does not seem to be fought off with. I feel like I'm a foreigner because I can't think of the words. Oh God. I hate feeling stupid when you're smart. Like even though you've had a vaccine, this one seems to like break through the barriers of the vaccine and you still get sick. Not as sick as the original one. And like I said, people that got vaccinated back in January, now they're saying, you know, to get a booster because it's been 8 months and, you know, having a vaccine is not meant to last, or at least for the COVID, is not meant to last that long. Like if you have a flu shot, you know, you get them every year because every year the flu virus is somewhat different. So numbers have been going back up again, and with numbers going up and the combination of that, and then people that have been putting off procedures and that are like, okay, COVID's not as bad anymore. Like we can go and get these procedures done that we've been pushing off. So because of that, hospitals are like at capacity, and it's not just Boston, it's everywhere. So like when I was in there getting my stuff done, I know they wanted my bed. I know that they wanted it to be a day procedure. God, my back hurts. Ugh. I know they wanted it to be a day procedure, and I pushed that. I'm like, no, I can't have this be a day procedure. You know, here's all the reasons why. I'll use the single mom card. Wah, wah, wah. I'm a single mom. You know, I need to make sure that my kids aren't the one who, or my son, because my other son was in college by then, is not the one who's going to be like sitting there taking care of me. I'm not going to do that. You know, I need to be under care of like a doctor. So I pushed for that and it ended up happening. But like, you know, they were ready to discharge me. And I'm like, you're ready to discharge me? I haven't even like walked across the hall. Like, how am I supposed to walk up the 36 steps or whatever I have to my apartment if I'm like literally going from bed to wheelchair to car to home and I haven't even walked yet? It was just, for me, it was like really rushed to get me out. And it's probably why I didn't get that little care package that you go home with that has all those booklets in it. And who do I have to blame for that? I'd say the pandemic. Because the hospital I was at, as are most hospitals in this area, they would not do that to you. I intentionally picked that hospital because of, you know, the warm, fuzzy team feeling that I get when I'm there. The other issue with healthcare that I'm going to address is the mental health part too. I don't really even know why I'm going into this part, but like, you know, I'm fortunate that the cancer center has supports. Like they have a social worker, but that's not really for like a psychological thing. I mean, which sounds, yeah, I mean, she can help with that too, but her main thing for helping me was like, you know, stuff with work, kind of the business end of things. But they do have therapists, counselors, whatever, psychiatrists that will help you with that process. But I'm thinking like, I have that as a resource because I had cancer. If you are just some regular schmo right now who needs mental health care and you want to find like a good therapist, you can find probably plenty, but you'd also be on a waiting list for maybe a good 6 months to get in to see someone. And 6 months is an incredibly long time. There's people that are hospitalized for psychiatric issues that just end up sitting in ERs because they're waiting for a bed to open up someplace for them to get treatment. And there are no beds because all those places are at capacity. That has nothing to do with COVID. The amount of money that like a lot of private therapists don't take insurance anymore directly because it's such a paperwork nightmare for them. So then people have to pay out of pocket to go, you know, to have them or their kids or whoever have help. And it's just absurd. You go to other countries, I think of Canada and like Germany, and, you know, there's plenty of other countries where like there's just universal health care. People don't have to pay a shit ton of money. It's ridiculous how much money I have to pay every month just to have health insurance. It's crazy that when like, so this year, because I'm turning 50 this year, my health insurance rates went through the roof. And I thought it was a mistake. And I called Blue Cross and I'm like, why are their insurance rates up so high? And they're like, well, you're turning 50 this year. I'm like, so, you know, apparently when you turn 50, your insurance rates, I think, at least for them and the plan I'm under, become not exactly twice as much, because it wasn't twice as much, but it increased substantially. If I recall, it was like 35% of an increase, which is huge. 33, I think it was a 33% increase, which is a huge increase to have to pay for a premium. And if you're at a job where they cover health insurance in full, then that's great. But in small companies or if you work independently, that's not the case. But it's insane how much money you're spending just to have health coverage. And there's all these like, you know, these movements that and hashtags and crap about, oh, make sure that you know, get the help that you need. But the reality is that you can't because A, health insurance is so freaking expensive. And B, there's not enough providers to be able to, or beds, you know, in hospitals for people that need it. It's just not there. And you hear from people from other countries and they just can't fathom how that's a system in our country. I don't really get political often, but it pisses me off with the bells and the hoops you have to jump through just to be able to take care of your body. They put, I'll stick with this one. Like you're acclaimed in this country if you're like a workaholic, and it, you know, if you say you work 80 hours a week, it's respected. You go over to like, you know, some European countries and you say you work 80 hours a week and they're like, why the hell would you work 80 hours a week? They require you to take a vacation. Like here, you have vacation and people are like, oh, I can't take vacation because if I take vacation, I'm gonna have to make up so much more time when I get back. So they don't have time to shut themselves down. In other countries overseas, like Germany, for example, they make you take vacation. Like there's no question, you have to take vacation. And their vacations aren't like, oh, you have to work here for X amount of time and then you get vacation, you know? Like here it's like what, you get 2 or 3 weeks vacation a year. There, when you go on vacation, it's like they give you like 5 weeks. And it's not shunned that you take 5 weeks off, it's actually encouraged. You know, I wish our country would be more like that. You know, where it's encouraged to actually take care of your bodies. Maybe we wouldn't have like maybe we wouldn't need all those therapists if we had the time to take care of our bodies by having like jobs that allow us to take care of our bodies and not feel guilty about it. You know, not just guilty from ourselves for taking time, but like guilty for leaving your job. Like, how dare you leave your job to take care of yourself? It's just not a healthy way of being. Okay, moving on. And yes, the COVID thing impacts this journey with me tremendously. With healthcare, like I said, a lot of my appointments are virtual, which, you know, I don't mind virtual appointments, mostly for a time aspect. Like if I had to, yesterday, if I had to get up and drive someplace, well, I can't drive, but, you know, to go see a nutritionist in person, you know, to go for other follow-ups, or like all these virtual appointments that I have would have taken up a lot of my time had it involved me driving into Boston or wherever, and having that done. So I guess that's one bizarro perk to the, what do you call it, to the pandemic. But non-perks, yeah, they're overloaded. The nurses, they're overloaded. I just sneeze. Ow. Excuse me. Oh, that hurt. But not as much. You can't see with my hands here. Like, I cover my hand like I'm so protective of my boobs. The nurses are so overloaded with patients. It's ridiculous. And it's like they work these incredibly long shifts. And then, like, you know, even when I'm in the hospital, I feel bad having to press the nurse button every time I had to go pee because, like, I had to get help to get up. And there's just not enough people there. And with the pandemic and people being on unemployment and stuff, some people are just staying on unemployment and not filling jobs. There's so many places that are short-staffed because there's not people that are there to fill the positions. And that just causes its own pile of crazy. With me, with the pandemic, it's like, you know, yes, there are some people, fewer than you'd think, for all those people out there who are like, oh, Jen, you know so many people and you've got so much help and whatever. I do have a lot of help, and there are a lot of pockets that are missing because people say they're going to help and then they don't. And I'm not going to go into that into too much, but like, it kind of sucks. But the pandemic does not help with that either, because people that I know well, that I know, you know, if they're being safe about COVID, are they wearing masks? Are they not going out in groups of people, whatever? I need to take care of myself right now to make sure that I'm not around people that are around thousands of people, including my son, which sucks. But like, you know, he wore an N95 mask when he came back to see me. And, you know, I did give him a hug, but I admit I held my breath the whole time. And then as soon as the hug was over, I stepped away from him. That's a really shitty way to be around, like, your kids. And I have people that I'm not super tight with that are offering help because they have the time and the ability to help me. God, my back hurts. But I don't know them that well. And I don't want to have like a conveyor belt of people here helping me because I don't know. You know, you have to keep the circle small so that, like, you don't get sick from COVID. I mean, yes, I've had COVID. Yes, I had reactions to the vaccines. I should have 1 billion antibodies in me at this point. But for that reason, I should not have had such an intense reaction to the second vaccine. I should not have, you know, it shouldn't have been as bad. But that's just the way this virus is. And I can't afford to get sick. I can't afford to be sneezing. I still don't even know why I'm sneezing. I'm not even, whatever. I can't afford to be sneezing and coughing. It hurts. I can't afford to have any other factors going on with me. Like, I want to see people when they come up to the door and drop off food. I want to see them and I want to talk to them. But I also need to take care of my body and protect my body. And I know that, like, nothing is infallible. It's like condoms, you know? You can wear a condom, but a condom does not give you 100% guarantee that one, like, rogue thing is not going to come loose, and you either come loose. You know, you either get pregnant or you get some disease or something, whatever. You know, like, masks are the same way. Nothing's 100%. I was so careful about everything, and I still have absolutely no idea how I got COVID. And if someone like me can get it, where, like, I hadn't socialized in, like, 2 months, I wasn't even grocery shopping at the time because I was still, actually, I don't even know why I wasn't grocery shopping. I think after the kidney stone, you know, I still was a bit sluggish and stuff. It's been a hell of a year, man. Anyway, you know, I'd love to have all the people that are saying, yes, I'll come help you, to come in and help me. Most of those people I'm not super close with. I'd love to be, and I'd love to get to know them better. But now is not the time for that. Even when the nurses come or the physical therapist comes or whoever, I open up all the windows and doors. Well, I don't do that. I ask someone else, like my son or Barb, to open them up because they're too heavy for me to open. It's another thing that I'm annoyed at. I can't even open my own freaking damn windows. Or I can. It'll just be painful and I'll hurt for the next 2 hours. But I have everything all open, and I wear a mask and they wear a mask, and I tell even Caleb when he gets home from school, I'm like, keep your mask on because, you know, the nurse is here or whatever. And then when they leave, I spray Lysol and whatever to make sure that, you know, but like you shouldn't have to do all that crap. And it just sucks, but that's just what our world is like right now with COVID. And I'm a super social person. Like I'm fueled around being other people and going out and doing stuff. And that's my normal personality. And it's just sucked during the pandemic that I can't do those things. Well, I probably can do those things, but I don't really feel like, you know, I'm doing my part to stop the spread so that this pandemic is over and we can just move on. Yeah, as I'm looking through, I start going on what I think are tangents, but I actually wrote that down because mental health support and COVID's impact on hospital stays, which I just talked about. Another thing that I am annoyed about is when people say like, oh, Jen, whatever you need, let me know, you know, and then you actually reach out to them and say, here's what I need. And then they give you the 25,000 reasons why they can't help you over a period of whatever. If it's one day, that's fine. If it's over and over and over again, I'm not going to be reaching out to you anymore. And saying like, oh, and this isn't really a complaint. This is more of an informative thing. But like when you're trying to help someone, you say, oh, you know, reach out and let me know what you need. I'm not going to remember 30 seconds from then who just told me to reach out to them to let me know what I need. I did create like an SOS list on Facebook, which is nice because it's a group and it's there. But as more people message me, that SOS list drops down on the screen on my phone. So when I need something, it's not in my direct line of like sight that I even have that SOS list. And because like my head is in 25 places, I can't think clearly to do that. Oh, sorry. So like I would say, you know, when someone's going through crap, it doesn't have to be around cancer, saying like, oh, reach out to me and let me know what you need. They're not going to remember to reach out to you because they've got enough shit on their plate. You, if you truly care to help, you have to be the one to reach out. Even if you're annoyed about it, if you truly care about that person, you just need to keep reaching out. And they might say, no, I don't need help on a Monday. But on a Tuesday, they could be like in tears in bed and they really need something. That's the best advice I can give in that way. It's like, don't say, you know, let me know what you need. Well, I shouldn't phrase it that way. The best question you can ask is just texting someone. It's not even calling. Calling does not work. Because you get on the phone and then you're on the phone for a half an hour. And truly my longest conversations are these vlogs. If I had to do a back and forth with someone, I cannot cognitively remember the things that the other person's saying. My head is all about my body and taking care of it. I can't have a back and forth dialogue. The best communication I have, the most effective for me, is texting and voice messaging. And I get that's not how other people work, but right now, this journey is not about other people, it's about me. And I think almost everyone I know can say that I often don't think of myself first. I think of everyone else first. That's not been the case with this. Although I was kind of in that place this morning about my kids, but it's different because that's my kids. But yeah, if you truly want to help, you know, you need to reach out over and over and over and over again and say, how can I help you? How can I help you? That is the best question to possibly ask no matter what, is how can I help you? Not through phone, not, oh, give me a call back because I won't remember to call you back. You know, leave a voicemail. Okay, I'll hear it. Give me a call back. I'm not going to give you a call back. If I'm in a really shitty place and you happen to be calling me at the exact same time I need to talk to someone, I'll answer the phone. But I can tell you in the past 50, whatever days I'm up to, I might even be up to 60. I have no idea what number I'm up to. But in all that time, I think I've had 3 conversations on the phone with people. 3. That's it. Seriously. And one I felt obligated to have because they kept calling over and over and over and over again. But it doesn't work for me to have a conversation back and forth. It's beyond the realm of what I can do right now. So don't say that you're going to be there to help someone when you know that you're not. And be straight. People are not straight enough, man. They're not. People tiptoe around people all the time. And I was the same way. And I've learned not to be that way over the years, especially over the past few years. Tiptoeing around people does not do any function at all. You need to be straight with people. If you're like, you know, and there have been people that have said straight out, you know, like, I'm vaccinated, but, you know, my husband's not. So I would rather them tell me that, because I know that they care and want to help me, but they're also being straight with me and saying, you know, my partner's not vaccinated. And that opens up a world of possibly me getting sick. So I know they care so much that they're telling me that. I had another thought and it just went, psh, gone. I like this one. Assuming I have my shit together because it looks like that on Facebook. I do have an Instagram account. My Instagram account is my most authentic account, which is why it's private. The only people that I allow into my Instagram world are people that I know no matter what I say will not judge me or assume things about me. People assume a lot about me based on I hate to say persona because it sounds fake, but based on like the reputation of what they see me as around town. They just assume I have it all together. They assume that I'll figure shit out because I've had to. As a single mom too, I've had to figure shit out. Things I wish I didn't have to figure out, I've had to figure out. I know so much more about stuff. You know, whether it's like, I don't know, hooking up stuff behind my TV, how to troubleshoot my printer, the legal system. I know all sorts of shit that I shouldn't need to know about. But don't assume I have it together just because I'm like being snarky and funny on vlogs, on the one vlog you happen to see or whatever. Or of you knowing me for however long and knowing that I'm the fun friend. You know, I'm the one with the cowboy hat. I'm the one that goes to Vegas and wears peep-toe stilettos, you know. I'm the one that doesn't have any issue with going on TV where other people are afraid to do that. You know, I'm the one who's not afraid to ask questions, whatever. That doesn't mean that I have my shit together all the time. I mean, for Pete's sake, I have, oh, I can't turn. I have a stuffed white fluffy bunny next to me. You know, I'm not always like, I'm not always the strong chick that everyone thinks that I am. Not saying that that makes me the opposite, which is weak, but saying that sometimes I just need to squish something fluffy and cry on someone's shoulder and bitch about stuff like I am now. I don't always have my shit together, for those that think that I do. Don't assume that I'm fine because you think I have 25,000 people knocking down my door for help. I have people that are offering help, and most of those people are people I'm not... I don't want to diminish by saying that, but the people that I thought that would step up to help me, shockingly have not. Some people that I thought would be like calling to check in have not even called once since I told them. And it hurts, and I don't really have time to deal with it right now. But it might look like I have a parade of people, and I have people. Don't assume what that looks like, because it's not what you think that it looks like. Don't assume you have to step back. Don't assume that your help is not going to be the help that I need. Because there's one woman who's been bringing me meals. She brings flowers every time she brings meals, and the flowers she brings never make me sneeze, which is interesting. They're just simple flowers. And I don't ask her to do that. And sometimes she'll pick up like a little treat. And it's not about buying things. It's just a point of like, I met her once. I met her once, and we have a ton of things in common with each other, but I've only met her once. And she's stepped up to do things more than people that I've known for years. So I'm going to get to a point of processing that with my friends that I have not heard hide nor hair from. And family for that matter. Because I don't have the time or energy to get into it. But, yeah, I can have 150 people on Facebook say whatever. But, you know, actions speak louder than words. What are you actually doing? I don't mean that as a guilt trip. I just mean that about, like, being straight. If you don't really want to help, then don't say, how can I help? Because what's the point of saying that? You know, tell me, I have this going on. I can't. Or don't even tell me what you have going on. Just say, I got shit going on. I love you, Jen. I'd love to help, but I just can't right now. Okay, at least then I know. Instead of just going missing. And me being like, you know, why am I not hearing from this person who I really, really need right now? It makes you realize that I guess I don't need them because they're not reaching out. And it really sucks. And it makes you question things. And then it makes you grateful when people pop up. Like someone you've only met once and do things in a way that you never expected. And for people that say, oh, I don't live nearby. Well, you know that episode that I did, vlog about everyone needs a friend like Laura? Laura does not even live in the state that I live in. And I think I've hung out with Laura 4 times, maybe 5. But she sends cards like all the time. My one friend gives me food. She's like, not just dinner things. It's like, you know, she knows that I have certain dietary restrictions from the kidney stone. And she'll just generically send me a text and be like, I made this. Do you want to try some? I would never say no to that. Of course I want to try some. And she takes no offense if I don't like it. And she'll say to me, what else can I do for you? And I'll be like, honestly, like I took classes with her before, like wellness kind of stuff. And I said, sometimes I just need a reminder to breathe. And she often sends me these notes with her food that all it says is inhale, exhale, repeat. And I just need that reminder sometimes. And I asked her, I said, can you text that to me every now and again? So I remember. Just, you know, there are random times and at a random moment in the day, you just have to stop and inhale, exhale, and repeat. And that's what I need from people too, is like, you know, I have to start doing exercises. I need someone who's going to be texting me and saying, Jen, did you roll your neck today? I'm like, oh crap, no. And I'll go do it. I need someone to say, you know, Jen, did you roll your shoulders today? Nope, oops, I'll go do that. Jen, did you meditate today? No. I need that accountability. And that will help me heal. Like, Jen, did you take care of yourself today? Did you rest enough today? If you didn't, get on the couch. I need that. That's what I need. But I can tell you, like, the people that are like, oh, she's got enough people out there. What can I do to help? I couldn't do anything to help because she's got enough people. That's a load of crap. I don't. I mean, I do. But there's a pocket of things that I still need help with that are things that don't require you to live near me and don't require you to have money and don't require you to be a stay-at-home mom or something. There's plenty of things. You just have to ask. I'm going to skip that one because it doesn't really even matter. I'll end with these last 2. Something that pisses me off is not being able to parent like I want to. You know, being a single parent is tough. And my kids have been through a lot. More than most people understand. There are very few people that know the ins and outs of my situation of why I'm a single parent. And I want so much for them. And there's plenty of people out there that judge because they don't know. You know, they're like, well, why don't you just do this? And why don't you just do that? And I'm like, that's not my situation. And I fought hard for my kids to have stuff, whatever. It's not like I'm enabling them. I'm not even going to even go in the land of trying to have to defend myself, because I know I'm a freaking kick-ass parent. I don't doubt that for a second. Not for a second. And I have raised 2 fantastic children. Do they get on my nerves sometimes? Of course they do. Every kid does. But when I look at them, you know, I always get teary-eyed when I talk about my kids. But things that I can't do right now that really, really upset me, I pushed hard for me to be able to be with my son for Parents' Weekend this year for college. And that's in October, whatever. And I know that's a ways away. I just dropped my pen and I can't go pick it up. God damn it. I don't really need it anymore anyway. But I can't even fathom driving an hour and a half to see him both ways. I can't stay overnight there because all the rooms are full. Like, they book up so early in advance. He's in a college with like 25,000 people in it. I want to go see him. Like, he's in color guard. And I want to see him spinning his flag and doing his thing and being happy. And granted, he's in a marching band with like 500 people in it, so it's hard to figure out exactly where he is. But I want to see him doing his thing. And I want to, like, I guess we did this when I moved him out last semester. But I just want to do all the kitschy parent things that you do when your kid has Parents' Weekend, or when your kid's away at school and your parents come visit. I've not been there nearly enough. And granted, yes, COVID was a huge part of that because school was shut down. But it's like things are open again, and he's a junior. He's only got 1 year left. And he's studying abroad next semester, so he's not even going to be here for that. Like, for me to be part of that with him with college. I wish I was able to share more of the typical parent of a college kid experience than I've been able to. And, you know, there's a factor put in there when, you know, when you are divorced, because you have to balance time between, you know, between me and his father about, you know, what weekend is whose and who's going to see who when and whatever. And, you know, you want to be respectful of everyone's time. And, like, that's why I had planned out for, you know, me to be able to be with him for this Parents' Weekend. And then I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that. And if I can't, that only leaves me 1 more. And then next year, my younger one will be in college. And what happens if both their Parents' Weekends fall on the same weekend? I mean, I'll figure it out, but, like, I can't, when you're a single parent and you have more than 1 child, it's such a hard thing with being there for both of them. You can't be in 2 places at one time. And my younger one, it's his senior year. There's so much stuff going on. His birthday is on, well, I don't want to say when his birthday is. His birthday is coming up. And I said to the nurse yesterday, I said, I just want to go. I hate them all. I'm like, I know what I want to get for him. But I have to be able to touch it and feel it to know if it's going to work. So that's not something I can ask someone else to do for me. And I said, like, you know, do you think I'm okay to just go to the mall, whatever? And she's like, Jen, you're walking so slow, even to walk around the loop outside your yard or in the lawn, whatever. And she's like, you're not ready to go to the mall. And last year for his birthday, literally that night, the night before his birthday, whatever, I had my kidney stone. So his birthday rang in after midnight. Where was I? I was in the ER with a friggin' kidney stone. And I remember I just come from Party City and I got a whole car full of balloons. Because I love holidays and I love birthdays. And I love, like, just doing it up. That's just how I am. And I remember when they were putting me on the stretcher, I kept telling them, I said, don't forget the balloons are in the car, because I didn't want the balloons to stay there because they'd all be deflated. And I wanted to make sure that he woke up to having all these balloons in his room. And I just kept saying, don't forget the balloons in the car. Because I didn't want my stupid kidney stone to impact his birthday. And that was just a kidney stone. I mean, for me, it's a bigger inconvenience with food and stuff and making sure I don't have another one. But for him, it was just a pretty short thing. And then I had COVID, and that wasn't a short thing. That was, you get the phone call and like, boom, shut your door. You're in isolation. There's no prep time. And then I had reactions to both vaccines. So it's like having COVID all over again for like a week. So I'm out of commission then too. And I'm just not able to do the things that I want to do. In February, I had that break to be able to go on college visits with him. But it was the pandemic. Your college visits looked like you sitting in a car because you're not allowed out of the car. And you watch like, a virtual tour on your computer in your car and hope that your battery lasts. That's what it looked like to have a college visit during the pandemic. And then things started to open up and I'm like, okay, April break. Let's go on college visits during April break. But I had COVID the end of March. I did not have the respiratory capacity to go for a walk someplace. The furthest that we went was Yukon. And I got out of the car and I was able to walk maybe 3/4 of a mile or so. But I was exhausted after that. And then I had to drive home. So I had to take some time to rest in between, and it was just a project. And like, I just want things to be normal. Like I want to, his first football game is going to come up. I want to go to the football game. My kid is the kid that keeps time. He plays snare. He keeps time for the band. So even me hearing his rim shots as the marching band's walking down for the football game, I'm like, that's my kid. And when they play cadence, like I was in marching band, I love cadence. I think cadence is super cool. I love how it's different for everywhere. And he was making up his own cadence to do. And I just love hearing that. And now I have to put stuff in place because it's walking downhill to get to the stadium. And can I walk and have the endurance to get to the stands? And when I'm sitting in the stands, will I remember not to lift myself up with my arms? Or if it's halftime and I want to get a hot cocoa, how do I do that? It's just, everything just gets more complicated. And I'm used to just being like, going above and beyond for my kids, and I feel like I'm not. And if there's one job besides taking care of me, that is the most important job, it's my kids. And it really hurts to not be the parent I want to be to them. And my last sentence I wrote is, and all this is effed up because of something I can't even see. If there were a person to blame, at least you could like see them. If you can't see, I mean, doctors can. I can't see my cancer. I know what it was doing to me. I mean, they saw it blatantly when they took my biopsies. They saw the cells dividing. Like, they saw everything. But you're having faith in the fact that people are telling you that there's something there that you just can't see. And, like, your whole world is topsy-turvy because it's something you can't see. Even with COVID, like, with COVID, there's clear things. You feel the achiness, and it's not just it's achiness to the point that you can't move. It's so bad. The high fever, like you see that on the thermometer, there's more concrete things to see. Yes, this is what's happening that I can see or touch or feel. And that's why I have COVID. You have the kidney stone? Holy cow. That's the worst pain I've ever felt in my entire life, including childbirth. You definitely know something's happening. Cancer, for me, does not hurt. There was no lump that I could feel. There was no lump that any of the doctors could feel. My life is turned upside down because it's something I can't feel, I can't see, I can't touch, can't smell, can't whatever sense I'm missing. It's this invisible thing that is turning my life into what it's turned things into. And the journey's not done, too. Like, I still haven't, like, you know, yes, they did the mastectomy, double mastectomy, but, and, I don't like saying but, and I have my first appointment with an oncologist in, like a week and a half. I would think that, like, you find out you have the C word, boom, you get an oncologist. That's not how it works, at least not with breast cancer. At least not with my breast cancer. So, like, I'm starting another journey still on this cancer thing when I talk to the oncologist. So it's not over. Like, you think, okay, she had the mastectomy, her margins are clear, the lymph nodes are fine. Okay, good, all set to go. Woohoo, let's go party. No, there's no partying. I can't even lift my arms up, like, past, like, here. There's no partying yet. I don't mean to sound doom and gloom, but I'm kind of pissy this morning if you can't tell. This is my marathon hour and 6-minute vlog right now. You don't like it? Hit pause, come back to it. It's not what you think it is. I thought all breast cancers are lumps in your boobs, and they're not. It's invisible for me. And I'm not on the God Squad. I do believe in God. I do believe in angels. There's a large faith component with all this. Faith in your care team for allowing you to live a long and healthy life because something's inside of you that you can't see that's trying to take away from your life. And if there's one thing people assume about me, which is correct, is that I am stubborn and being a fighter. I don't give up. I don't. I have been through a lot of stuff. I don't give up. Even people that know me well, there's stuff about me that you don't know that, like, it's pretty intense stuff that I don't give up. No way. I have been through too much in this life to not give up or to give up. Words, yeah. No way. And yes, it's about my kids. Yes, it's about me. Yes, it's about why am I here. I finally figured out in the past, like, year or two why I'm here. I'm here to do this kind of stuff. This is why I'm here. To not be afraid to say shit. To curse. I'm from New York. I curse. I try not to say the F-bomb. But, you know, to be open and to share this stuff so that people get it. And I don't say it to, like, spare people's feelings, whatever, because that's part of how I am. I am authentic and I'm true and I'm honest. I used to thwart stories to get more attention from people when I was, like, a teenager and stuff. I don't do that crap anymore. I don't have time for that, you know? If you don't have an interesting story to tell, then just keep your trap shut. That sounded mean. I just mean, like, you don't have to make up stuff just to make yourself sound more cool, or you don't have to make up stuff just to fit in, or whatever. Just be yourself, for Pete's sake. You know, I feel like my goal in this world is to just openly speak and be, and not be afraid of, like, yeah, I woke up and I'm wearing the same PJ shirt I wore last night, and I don't really care. You know, I got my hair back in a scrunchie today. There are days when I have awesome hair, but you know what? I don't have the energy to hold a flat iron. I don't have the energy to deal with a curling iron. But I know what I look like when I'm dolled up, and I'm hot. I'm not right now. But I am. And I'm smart. See those degrees back there? There's another one on top. See that one? I have my teaching certificate too, which, thank God, did not get wet. The frame got wet. The certificate didn't get wet when I got certified to teach in New York, I took that solo cup over, my certification frame got wet, and I'm like, ugh! Certified to teach in 2 states. You know, I have a lot of stuff going on, and I get now that being a teacher, I'm still a teacher, just in a different way. And a huge thing I love about these vlogs, I don't care about the time thing. My analytics are actually really good. I know people are watching because you'll see it and be like, oh my God, I'm never going to watch an hour and 10-minute vlog. But there are a lot of people that actually do. And I don't get a lot of feedback, which is interesting. Like, I'd love to get feedback, though I will say I probably won't have time to respond. At least thumbs up or something, whatever. But when I looked at the analytics and see what's going on and who's watching and for how long and whatever, it's pretty impressive. Because I know from working at a TV station, like what the click-through rate usually is for videos. And mine is exceedingly higher than that. So, yay, go me. But what these vlogs are for me, too, about why I don't care that I go over an hour, is that this is my rules, my life, my journey, my soapbox to stand on, my stuff to share with you. All parts of it. I don't do it to judge anyone. I'm doing it to say what's in my space. You learn from it, great. You hate me afterwards, okay. Whatever. I don't want to have beef with anyone, ever. I'd be more than happy to talk about it in detail with someone after I'm not going through all this crap. But not now. But at the end of the vlogs, I can say I don't recall ever being off of a vlog where I did not feel good about myself when it was done. So while I hate journaling, and there's one thing, like this is my journal, and I was in a horrible mood this morning when I got up, and my ass is killing me right now from sitting in this chair for so long, because the tiger mom needs to get shifted down a little bit. But I need to eat something, because holy crap, it's 10 o'clock, and I need to eat. And I'm glad that I did this. And I've gotten to the point in my life that I don't take this stuff back. What I say that comes out of my mouth comes out of my mouth for a reason. And it's empowering. And I hope I communicated some things with you to shed some light on what makes people crabby throughout this whole thing. And how you can help deal with that. And not to get defensive with like, oh, well, I did this and she said that, whatever. Just get over yourself. The world is not about you. It's really not. You're just part of it. What can you do to help? That's what you have to ask. And if it's somebody that you know that's sick and you don't really care for them, then don't bother. Sever those ties. Whatever. There's no point in being like artificially friends with someone. It's a waste of time. You know, you want to be a friend, be a friend. You want to step away, step away. If you're honest about it, it makes it even more easy. You know, everyone knows where they stand. Life is a lot easier if you just be honest about how you feel. It truly is. All right, I gotta go eat something. One thing I'm gonna do, I know the woman that owns the diner that's down the street, and I need to ask her. I'm like, I'd love to have some food from her. She makes really good, well, not her, well, she probably does too, but they make really good omelets. And I want to do that this weekend. So, yeah, that's my list of complaints. And I feel much better now. I've gotten that all out. So anyone who's watching, by the way, I'll leave with my asks. Because I have asked from specific people, like the woman who owns the diner, but more general asks of people that are watching this that know me, and have my cell phone number, because I'm not going to give my cell phone number to anyone. Although I would say for people that don't know me, you would have the email for the, for this vlog, which is on the description for the name of the page. I always have to write it out because I don't even remember. But I haven't gotten any emails. Invasive ductal carsa what vlog. So it's idcwv@gmail.com. It's just the initials of invasive ductal carsa what vlog, because carsa W was taken, V for vlog, and @gmail.com. So yeah, for anyone, communicate with me somehow, preferably not a phone call, because I'm most likely not going to answer it. Part of that too is because most of my phone calls are from the hospitals and I have to answer them. So even when I start a phone call, it doesn't last usually very long as I have to get off because someone's calling for some reason. My asks. Yeah. Communicating with me and telling me to inhale, exhale, repeat. To tell me to meditate. To tell me to go outside. To tell me to go for a walk. To tell me to roll my shoulders. To tell me to lift my shoulders up and down. To tell me to do my neck rolls. Now I have exercises with my arms where I have to like crawl my arms up the wall. So reminders to tell me, you know, remember to crawl your arm or your fingers up the wall. I need that. I need that accountability. Even more so than I need the, you know, you got this kind of stuff. I mean, sure, those help. But the task-oriented things that I'm not doing, I need more help with. To tell me, brush your teeth, Jen, if you haven't done that already. To tell me, you know, if your legs look kind of too hairy for you, go shave them. To tell me to shower, even though it's scary to shower. To tell me to ask for help when I think I can do it by myself and I can't. Those are the things that I need, really. But right now I need to eat, so I'm going to go. All right. Sayonara. Ciao. See you later.